to Vegebamnews. I'm your host Christine, and today we'll be focusing on health, environment, and the economic perspective of genetically modified crops. Also, we have a special guest from DE Laboratory, the genetically modified crop expert, to tell us about this topic in detail. Are GM crops good or bad? Stay tuned. For many years, farmers have advanced their crops by crossbreeding plants that have good traits. But downside to crossbreeding is that it is slow and unreliable. So scientists have come up with a shortcut by using gene technology. It's a lot faster than traditional breeding and introduces very precise changes to genetic materials that lead to desirable traits. Genetically modified crops are plants that have been genetically modified in a lab with DNA from other plants, animals, and bacteria. For example, a particular gene may be insect resistant or possess traits that improve crop yield, so these desirable traits can be transferred into food crops such as corn or canola. As genetically modified crops are largely intruding in our diet, concerns have risen regarding the genetically modified safety. Those opposed to genetically modified crops believe that genetic engineering is a bad idea because of the potential environment, economics, and health adverse effects on humans that are not explicitly known as of now. We have Dr. Kim here with us today. Dr. Kim, could you please tell us about the pros and cons of genetically modified crops related to environment, economics, and our health? Hi everyone. Well, health-wise, genetically modified products genetically altered to increase overall quality, nutritional value, and flavor enhance. So they look good, taste good, and in a sense, good for our body. From an environmental perspective, genetically modified crops help to reduce the release of greenhouse gases and prevent polluting the ground, soil by cutting down on pesticide. Not only that, a vaccine has been encoded into the genetics of genetically modified crops. This helps genetically modified crops to withstand diseases and insects that would normally kill the organic crops. Not only it can combat diseases, they tend to have longer shelf life. It is extremely convenient during transportation and storage, as it's been improved to last longer and to stay fresher. With all that, combating properties and allowance for farmers to grow more on less land keeps the yields high and prices low for the consumers. This will help people going through financial difficulties. In addition, genetically modified crops aid to sustain crops to feed growing population in the world, which was the initial goal of genetically modified crops development. Now the cons. The pollen from genetically modified plant can develop superweed as the pollen travels to plants like weed and other invasive species and cross-pollinate. The invasive species will have the same resistance to herbicide. Same logic applies to living organisms too. The modified genes in crops that help to resist pesticide can transfer to insects and pests, thus making pesticide resistant and hard to get rid of. Genetically modified crops can create meaningless death for non-invasive species like monarch butterflies. Talking about resistance, genetically modified crops have antibiotic properties to be immune against certain diseases. So when a human individual consumes these properties, it is left in the body and can make many antibiotics less effective. Although not verified, it is largely known that children with food allergies have significantly risen since the introduction of genetically modified crops and food. Issues arise as genetic engineering allows animal product in plants. This could result in complications for those with dietary restrictions such as vegans or those who refrain due to religious reasons. Genetically modified crops are a massive question mark because not enough testing has been conducted and the long-term effects are unknown. That was very interesting. Thanks for that. So we have learned pros and cons of health, environment, and economical perspective of genetically modified crops. Please let us know what you think of genetically modified crops on our website, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on #Vegebamnews on Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and Instagram. Bye for now.